Hello guys, it's me again. Today we are preparing something called mi helado here, helado fermentation. Here's missing an E, should be mi helado. That in Spanish means honey. Actually, this is the real honey. It's kind of an old way of preparing honey. Nowadays, the coffees they don't have any honey. But this one has. Now I'm going to show you how it works. So as you can see, there is a box on top of the table. If you see this one that is empty, you will see that it has a screen at the bottom. So we put cherry, very good and very ripe and very well selected cherry, on top of it, and we fill the box. This box is huge. I think that we can fill this with around a ton of coffee, of cherry. So it's a very large amount. So once it's done, once we have finished filling it up, we just take this saran mesh and we just put it on top. On top of the saran mesh, we're gonna have a plastic that is gonna be covering. For this type of honeys, we don't use any. For the rest of fermentation, we usually use a pH meter, or we use a thermometer, or sometimes we use volume, changes in volume, where we use pH changes. But for this one, it's a lot easier. So what we do is once the coffee is covered, we let it sit for a while, for several days. And once we see underneath, you see all those marks down there? That's the honey's coming out. So once it starts dripping, it means that the coffee or the mucilage inside the cherry is completely liquefied. So that means that the fermentation it has gone all the way. So it starts dripping the juices, and the juices are the ones that drip. Those juices are extremely sweet, and if you do what usually maple farmers do, that they concentrate the syrup in pans, the same as we do with molasses, you're gonna get a very thick syrup out of coffee. So these are the actual honeys. I'm gonna show you a video here that shows how it drips when it is ready. And once it's ready, we take this coffee, and this coffee cannot touch water. It needs to be completely dry. So once this is done fermenting, we take it to a hand pulper, and we pulp it by hand with 0 water. Once the coffee is pulped, it goes to the table. I would show you that later in a further video. These type of honeys are originating from Mexico. Very few people keep doing it. I have tried in many places and it doesn't work. But here it works because the weather is very friendly. Once you have all these cherries together, piling such a thick layer, it ferments quickly. Sometimes attracts flies and insects and molds, and it gets rotten like really quick. But here we can have a very nice fermentation for a long time. So I have tried this processing several parts, and here I would say that this is the only place that I have seen that it have worked. It's a very hard way of producing this coffee, and the final result is a coffee that is very citric. It's not very complex. It's kind of the citric side. It tastes like orange, tangerines, have a thick body. It's a very round body. It has a nice and round mouthfeel, and it's really nice. So if you have the chance of drinking this coffee, I would totally recommend it. So this coffee is originally from Mexico, from the Chiapas region. And now we're producing it here in Tanzania. After 3 days of fermentation, I want to show you how the mielado looks. So this coffee is allowed to be ready. We're going to be pulping it tomorrow. So I want to show you how it looks once it's ready. So we see here underneath, and you will see that the coffee is dripping. Let me show you closer. So for example, look at that. There are little drips coming from the top. Okay, so it's not fully fermented, but by tomorrow it will be. So if we check inside, now we have a worker that's coming here to stir it for the last time. You see, to give you an idea how this smells like kind of wine, plums, raisins. It has some peaches and strawberry, kind of nice. So tomorrow we're gonna be pulping it. That needs to be without water and by hand. And when that's finished, it will go directly to a table. And so I want to show you what happens with the mielado once it's done fermenting. So we take it from the boxes and we do pulping by hand. This type of coffee doesn't need any water. If you put some water, the quality and the flavor will be compromised. So it needs to be pulp dry. That's why we use a hand pulper. It takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it. And in the bag, we're collecting it. So once the bags are full, we take them to dry. So let me show you how it looks once it's placed on top of the tables. So once we're done pulping it by hand, we put it on tables. As you can see, it has a reddish color. And I turn around for the light to see getting in the face. Okay, so here we have the mielados once they're drying. If you're familiar with honeys, most of the Pulped Naturals, the pulp, are processed, leaving most of the mucilage intact. And there are three variations commercially known. There is the yellow, red, and black. Once you pulp the coffee and you leave the mucilage, the coffee goes to dry on tables. And if you dry it quick, it will turn, the final result will turn yellow. Parchment will be yellow. If you let it dry for a longer period, or you extend the drying period, it will be red, equivalent to this one, equivalent to a red one. And if you let it sit and slow down the drying process for a very long time, it will turn black. Those are the black ones. So this is how it looks once it's the smell very fresh. Seems that it's gonna be a good coffee. So this is all for now. So see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.